Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, The Bulletproof Life. My name is Ronke Odewumi and I'm delighted to have you here. Today I'm going to share with you my reading list for 2021. This is a list of the books I will be reading this year. So if you like any of these books or this video makes you interested in them, please join me to read along. I have carefully chosen these books in the last months of 2020 across different genres. This is because I want to read fun books, educational books, informative ones, books that will motivate and inspire me, books that will remind me to take care of myself, body, mind, and soul as I smash my bulletproof life's journey. My list includes personal finance books, entrepreneurship books, books on building my career, and fiction. I have included two autobiographies. Can you guess which ones? If you said Trevor Noah's Born a Crime or Barack Obama's A Promised Land, you are correct. Before we go ahead, can I ask you to give the like button a quick hit? Because I can see here that you haven't pressed like on this video yet. Thanks for hitting the like button. I appreciate you. Every time you like my video, you make it easier for YouTube to share my video with others like you. I'll start off by going through the personal finance books first, as personal finance is our primary focus on this channel. The first personal finance book I'm reading this year is The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. The Intelligent Investor is a book about value investing, which is something I'm a big fan of. The Intelligent Investor, according to reviews, offers sound advice on investing from a trustworthy source, Benjamin Graham. This book is about investing in the stock market in an intelligent way that ensures you don't lose your money. It's about investing like Warren Buffett. So if you're somebody who wants to invest but doesn't want to risk losing it all, that would be me, then this book is for you. And that is why I am reading this book, because I'm somebody who wants to improve my investing performance while not losing my money on the stock market. The second personal finance book I'm reading is The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. And this is a book that says the conventional approach for becoming wealthy by working hard and saving is wrong. It suggests a different approach, and I'm really keen to read about this different approach that this book is suggesting. It says that it's a book for anyone who dreams of founding their own enterprise or who feels that they are wasting their best years in a job that they hate. Okay, I don't feel I'm wasting my best years in a job I hate, but at the same time, I'm somebody who's just started something, the bulletproof life. So I'm keen to see what this book has to say. The third personal finance book I'm going to be reading this year is Happy Money by Elizabeth Dunn and Michael Norton. This book is about the science of spending and how to spend your money in a way that maximizes your happiness by applying 5 simple principles. I'm really keen to find out what these 5 principles are and how I can apply them to maximize my happiness while spending as little as possible. The last personal finance book I'm reading is Quit Like a Millionaire by Christy Shen and Bryce Leung. This book appeals to me because it promises no gimmicks, no luck, no trust fund required. And that is totally up my lane. That is the kind of thing I want to be reading. This is a book written by two Canadian engineers. I'm expecting it to go straight to the point and tell it to us as it is. Reviews have described it as a bold, no nonsense guide to managing your money and growing your wealth. Christy and Bryce, the authors of this book, are now retired, traveling the world, giving talks, writing articles, and sharing their knowledge around the world. So I'm really keen to read the book to hear what they have to say about growing your wealth. So these are the personal finance books I will be reading in 2021. If I find any of them particularly exciting or interesting, which I hope to do, I will come back here to tell you all about it. This year, I also intend to read two books on entrepreneurship, and the first one is This is Marketing, written by Seth Godin. This is Marketing by Seth Godin was actually suggested to me by one of you here, and so I'm looking forward to reading it. So thank you to my subscriber who suggested this book to me. It's supposed to be a book about identifying the needs and desires of your audience and meeting it. And if there's something that's really close to my heart, is identifying and meeting the needs of my YouTube subscribers, you guys who come here and watch my videos and subscribe and talk to me and connect with me. I'm really keen to understand what you want and give it to you. The second entrepreneurial book I'm reading this year is Delivering Happiness by Tony Hayes. I don't know how to say his last name. Anyway, Tony in this book talks about the pathway to profits, passion, and purpose. Tony is connecting these three things together: profits, passion, and purpose. And as a serial entrepreneur, I am keen to read about the balance of these three important things. Sharing financial knowledge is my passion, and I'm keen to balance that with purpose and profits, of course. It is sad though that Tony died in November 2020, but before he died, he was the CEO of Zappos and before that co-founded a company which he sold to Microsoft for $265 million. $265 million, people. If Tony is writing a book, we should all be reading Tony's book. So I definitely want to read that book. Now, as many of you know, I have been in professional career for 17 years. I'm a career girl. And this year, I will be reading two books to further build up my career. The first book I'm reading is Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office by Louis P. Frankel. The title of this book has me. Nice girls don't get the corner office. Like, what? We are going to get the corner office and we're going to do everything we need to do, right, to get the corner office. This book talks about the unconscious mistakes women make that sabotage their careers. And if you're a regular on my channel, you know that I've done a video where I shared the do's and don'ts of the workplace, especially for women, the must do's, the never do's, all those things that can get your career up at the same time that can push your career down. So I'm quite keen to read this book to see if there are other mistakes women are making that I haven't mentioned in my video or that I don't know about, so that I can talk about them to you guys, or as I can also learn them for myself so I don't make these mistakes as I progress my career. The second career book I'll be reading is How Women Rise by Sally Elgerson and Marshall Goldsmith. This book is also one that focuses on women in the corporate space. It talks about the habits women have that hold them back from promotions, pay rise, or bigger roles. With the number of years I have spent in the corporate space, I do know some of these habits and I have shared them in my videos where I talked about what women should do or not do in the workplace. But there's always space to learn more. There's always space to find out if there are other habits that I'm not aware of that women have and that can hold them back in the workplace. So if I have any of these habits, I can learn them and quickly drop them and also share them with my YouTube community of women so that you can also quickly drop these habits. Once I have read these two career books, I will hold a live session to share my learnings and thoughts on these books with you. I think it's very important that as I'm learning towards growing my career, that you're also learning along with me and growing your career. We all know that it's harder for women to progress in the corporate space for a large number of reasons. Some of those reasons are within our control, and we must take charge of them, control them, and make things work in our favor so that we can progress our careers. I mentioned earlier that I will be reading two autobiographies this year. I'm a big fan of Trevor Noah, and so we'll be starting with his book, Born a Crime. Trevor Noah is one of my favorite comedians. He now hosts The Daily Show and is a show that I love to watch so much. This book, which is about Trevor's childhood and adolescence in apartheid and post-apartheid South Africa, has had a lot of fantastic reviews, and everybody who has read this book has said a lot of positive things about it. And even if they haven't, he's Trevor Noah. I want to read this. I want to find out what he's been doing. He has won many prizes and awards since he started hosting the Daily Show in 2015. He's going strong and strong. He gave Trump a hard time in all the 4 years of Trump's presidency in the US. And for that, I will forever stand Trevor Noah. I stand Trevor Noah. And I'm looking forward to reading his book. The second autobiography I'm reading is that of my favorite American president, Barack Obama. I mean, look at the GIF I've got here. This is Obama making one of his gangster moves. Sometimes I'm not even sure if I like him so much because he was America's first black president and has so much swag, or I like him because he is Michelle's husband. I think I like him more because he is Michelle's husband, because Michelle totally rocks. I read Michelle's biography last year and I loved it. I loved it so much. So I'm really looking forward to reading Barack's memoir. A Promised Land. A Promised Land is a first volume of Barack's memoirs, which means there will be more, and chronicles his journey from his teenage years to becoming the president. So it's the first volume of his memoirs. I've got to get ahead of it because I think there will be more, and I'm going to want to read them when they come out. I mean, this is the first black president that America has had and has opened the way for a lot of things like Kamala coming in as vice president and all of that. But anyway, let's not talk politics. The thing is, A Promised Land by Barack Obama is the second autobiography I'm going to be reading this year. The last two books in my list this year are works of fiction. I'm an author, a published author of fiction works. So this is what I do. And I'll probably be reading more fiction than these two books. But these two books are my must reads. They're the ones that, in spite and despite any other fiction I might pick up, I'm going to be reading these two books this year. If you haven't read my published book or if you haven't bought my book, please do. It's The Lost Khaki Girls. It's available on Amazon for you to buy and to read. So please go for it. When you buy my books, you encourage me to write more books, which I'm planning to do. So the first fiction book I'm going to be reading is Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor, and the second book is The Joys of Motherhood by Buchi Emecheta. Nnedi Okorafor is a Nigerian American who's based in the US. I first discovered her or found her on Twitter, and she's an amazing author. She writes books that sit somewhere between fantasy and science fiction. She's like an advanced version of the lady that wrote Children of Blood and Bone, which I loved, by the way. And so I'm really looking forward to reading Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor. I know I'm going to love it. The Joys of Motherhood is not a new book. It's quite an old book, and I should have read it. A lot of people have read it and said such wonderful things about it. Some people have said it made them cry. But I'm really looking forward to reading The Joys of Motherhood and Lagoon. These are the two must read fiction books I have on my list this year. So now you have seen the complete list of books I would like to read this year. I've given myself 12 books on this list, allowing me to read one book a month. Hopefully, I might read them faster than that and finish them in 6 months. Touch wood, hoping for it. Or I might just pace myself and go at it one book a month and come back to you with feedback or summaries or my thoughts on all of these books. Let me know if you want me to come back with my thoughts on these books, if you are going to be reading these books also, or if you're not going to be reading these books or going to be doing something else differently. Let me know. I hope my list inspires you to make yours if you haven't. And if you have made your list, please share it in the comment section to inspire me and others. Like I said, I'm hoping to read more than 12 books. So if you share your list with me in the comment section, I might steal a book from there and add it to my list and make my list longer and read more books. So definitely pop something in the comment section. Let me know what you think of my list. Let me know if you're going to make your list or if you've made it. Connect with me through the comment section. Let's see what you've got to say. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button and to drop me a comment. Again, we're a community. It's the Bulletproof community. This is what we do here. We connect and we are a money talking, book reading, educating, motivating community of wonderful people who are building a bulletproof life. So if you haven't told your friends about my channel, come on, tell your friends. Ask them to come over. Let them join us and be a part of this community. Until my next video, you take care of yourself and keep living that bulletproof life. Don't you love that waving bear? Don't you love him? He's saying bye bye. Bye.